Omaha's news leader, chronicling the stories and people making a difference in our community. This is KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob McCartney. Today we're looking into the global outbreak of the bird flu. Right now it's primarily an animal health issue, but as you'll hear, it has a real economic impact on all of us. The avian flu, H5N1, has U.S. agricultural leaders on high alert. USDA says bird flu has been found in more than 24 states. You can see them listed, among them Nebraska and Iowa. The cases include both commercial and backyard birds. Virus has also been detected in wild birds in more than 30 states. Now, although humans can get the bird flu, the CDC says that's very rare. Only a few cases have been reported this year globally, only one in the U.S. That was a week or so ago in Colorado. CDC says that person is okay. They only reported having fatigue as a symptom. The big concern from this flu is its impact on birds and the agriculture industry. In fact, some leaders fear the agricultural and economic impact could be even worse than the outbreak that devastated some poultry producers 7 years ago. Last month, the American Farm Bureau said the number of new infections was already outpacing 2015. That outbreak saw the loss of 50.5 million birds, more than $3 billion in economic damages. Iowa's Ag Secretary says the current outbreak could be long and expensive, too.
It's not just the folks that have the infected sites who are affected. It's every poultry producer, because they're having to take extraordinary steps right now to try to prevent this virus coming onto their operation. So it's a stressful time, to be sure.
Yeah, Iowa's been hit hard by this current outbreak. State's Ag Department says cases have been found in more than a dozen counties, and already more than 13 million birds have had to be destroyed. In Nebraska, bird flu has been confirmed in at least 7 counties, while most are in the eastern part of the state. Also includes Scotts Bluff. Nebraska also has a current order banning birds of any type at live events, talking things like fairs, expositions, and live auctions. That order is effective through next Sunday, which is May 15th. And here now to talk about the bird flu is Dr. Don Reynolds. He's a professor and poultry veterinarian with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Dr. Reynolds, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you.
First off, what makes the bird flu so contagious?
Well, that's interesting, because there's different types. There's what we call low path and high path. Okay. And a low path can mutate into a high path, and it's very contagious, and it causes high mortality. Now, recent studies have shown that turkeys are actually more susceptible than chickens. And so turkeys not only have a lower, what we call infectious dose, they also don't display the clinical signs near as much as the chickens, and all of a sudden they just die. So they get ruffled up, they're lethargic, and they just kind of keel over.
No, that's odd, because I think most people would put those two in the same category, right?
Well, but there's different susceptibilities. We're not sure exactly the mechanisms of how that works, but it's an intriguing fact, and it's been shown now that the turkey industry has been hit very, very hard. And
besides turkey, any other birds more at risk?
Well, one of the big problems is that waterfowl tend to carry the disease, and so they're not exactly always at risk. Some will die, but they are asymptomatic carriers, and so they spread it, and not only in their respiratory secretions, but also in their droppings. So a duck, a goose, whatever, can be flying around land, deposit some of its droppings on the banks of a pond or in a field or whatever, be picked up by other birds and spread around.
And they would have no idea, right?
They had no idea. Matter of fact, the first detection in Nebraska came from a goose at Holmes Lake and in the park there in Lincoln.
Right, and that's a high traffic park as well.
Yeah,
human and birds.
Yeah, you bet.
Now, there are symptoms bird owners should look for. We have a list of them. We're talking like sudden death, lack of energy. We have a whole list of them. There's decreased egg production. I don't know if we can show these on the screen here. What are some of these things right here? If you can see these.
Sure. Well, unfortunately, especially in backyard flocks, we'll get a client that says all of a sudden their birds just die. Sudden mortality, sudden death for no apparent reason. And then we find that there's avian influenza. That's not uncommon. But other things, they become lethargic, they lose their appetite, they don't drink, they have decreased egg production, or sometimes their eggs are shelled or misshapen, whatever. Swelling heads, wattles, eyes. Sometimes they'll have what we call petechia, little pinpoint hemorrhages in the areas of the legs, etc. Now, the problem is, these are not unique to avian influenza. There are other diseases that can cause these symptoms as well.
So the people who have these birds in flocks, I mean, are they supposed to just closely look at the birds and check, or what?
Well, we have to differentiate between the commercial producers and the backyard producers. Now, on the commercial side of things, those birds are monitored very closely. They know how much they eat, how much their water intake is. They go through those flocks on a daily basis. They monitor their movements, their behaviors, et cetera. So when something's wrong, they know immediately and they can get to testing. Backyard flock owners may not be so vigilant. They might just walk out and see how things are, and maybe not every day. Fill up a water feeder every once in a while, and not only that, they have access. These birds in the backyards have access to wild birds. Wild birds will fly in, get a free meal from the waters or the drinkers, and expose their flocks. So
Hey, you're talking about the diligence for commercial operations. They're very diligent. How likely is it that an infected bird could get into the food chain, that people need to be worried about that?
Oh yeah, that's just not a possibility.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, when it is detected, these birds are they're depopulated. So we don't do other things with them. They have to be euthanized, they're disposed of. This is overseen by the federal government. Trained people come out, and so it's as safe as we can possibly make it. Those birds or those eggs and those products do not go to the food chain. Now, no egg contains avian influenza. Now, it's possible it might be on the surface of the egg, but not inside the egg, so people aren't going to get it by eating eggs. Now, those birds that are laying eggs are known to be positive. The eggs are destroyed as well. So you don't have to worry about picking this up at the grocery store.
So that's good news. I mean, that's put a lot of people at ease there. What can bird owners then do to protect themselves? I mean,
protect themselves or protect them birds?
Protect the bird, yeah. Protect their operation, if you will.
Yeah, well, again, in the commercial operations, they have biosecurity programs, so we're not quite as concerned. I mean, it's a big concern in the commercial industry, but the backyard flock owners, oftentimes they don't have veterinary purview over their flocks. They're not quite sure about what to do with their flocks, et cetera. So what they can do is, number one, limit the exposure to other birds. So waterfowl, wild birds, et cetera, move those birds inside if they're housing them outside. No visitors, especially from those that have birds, no shows, swap meets, as you mentioned earlier. Nebraska's put a moratorium on poultry events, so we want to limit any kind of exposure to other birds.
What can people do to stop the spread then? I mean, there's some people who like to just go down to the neighborhood pond and feed the geese and whatnot. I mean, you talked about Holmes Lake earlier, Holmes Park. People could walk through parks.
Sure. Well, just good plain hygiene. Now, one good thing about this is that virus is not very stable in the environment. It's what we call membrane virus. And soap and water, detergents, any of these good disinfectants will kill that virus. So, just good, plain, old-fashioned hygiene. Washing your hands, cleaning up, washing your clothes, these kind of things go a long, long way.
I have a bird feeder and a waterer as well in my backyard. Should I not put food in that?
Well, what we tell people, if they have domestic poultry, so if they have a backyard flock, move those bird feeders away from your birds. So, or if you can't move the bird feeder, don't fill it up. Don't allow those wild birds in close contact with your birds. Other than that, I don't think you, as a person, have any fear of getting this. It's not transmitted very much by songbirds and whatever. We find it in waterfowl, but not in songbirds.
Great advice. Dr. Reynolds, thanks very much for being here today. So hopefully this thing will just run its course.
We hope so.
All right, very good. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so you don't have birds, are never really around them, but this definitely does impact you. Up next, how the bird flu is impacting how much, say, you pay for eggs, if you can still get them, and its impact on small business owners who rely on poultry products. You're watching KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.